Hello, 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 and good morning, Stampin' Friends. How is everybody doing today? Whew, I am excited to come share with you guys today. I am creating in the craft room. It's a little overcast here in Austin, Texas, and so I am in my craft room probably the majority of the day today. So I decided I would share with you. Probably going to come live to you several more times today just because it is what it is and I'm in my craft room and I'm playing. So we got to have that. I am Caron Bailey, the ATX Stampin' Lady here in Austin, Texas. I am with Sweet Signature Stampin' Creations, and we are going to have a little fun in the craft room today with the October 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit Cozy Christmas. So let me give you guys just a few minutes to pop on and join me, and so I can go ahead and share and invite more folks to come in and have some fun with us and enjoy some creativity in the craft room. It is overcast here today. I think it was like 70 or 80% chance of thunderstorms here in Austin. So a lot of things that I was planning on doing today that I had to get done today um, probably won't get to happen in the weather that it's predicting to happen today um, in this neck of the woods. Alrighty. So before I forget, and I probably won't forget, let me invite you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Um, Here I share tips, creativity, um, everything that, well, not most things that deals with card making, as that is my form of relaxation. It is how I get to de-stress from the week. And it's just something that I enjoy doing, and so I enjoy sharing that with you as well. As you pop into the craft room, just yell at, no, well, don't yell, just to say hello to me. Let me know that you're here, that you're watching, and let me know where you're watching from. And while you're here, if you are a new subscriber, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell so you stay tuned to when I go live. If you're returning a watcher, guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me this morning. I really, really appreciate that. I am going to try to go live with you every week. I have got a stash of paper pumpkin kits that's piling up. So my goal is to actually work through them with you to reduce the amount that I have building up. So I think I'm going to come live to you every week and bust through a kit. Some of them are going to be current, some of them are going to be really old, but we're going to go do a kit busting activity here because I got to bust my stash. So we are working today with the October 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit. Now this is a subscription kit through Stampin' Up. And if you're wanting to sign up for the November kit, you need to sign up by November 10th in order to receive the November kit. The subscription period is only open for a period of time, and it is only open for a period of time. Okay, once it's closed, unless you are a subscriber, you're not able to get the kits anymore. So what I've decided to do for you today is I didn't want you to sit around and watch me pull things apart. So I decided to use a little creativity because Stampin' Up is no longer going to be making its stamps in the cases. So I'm going to label these. It's generally 3 cards that you make. So what I decided to do was to go ahead and have each of the kits and parts and pieces already stored and cut apart for the videos. That way you don't have to watch me cut them apart. So you get all the parts and pieces in this particular kit to make 9 cards, and we're going to try to zip through 9 cards today. May not be possible, but we're going to get through as many as we can. And then you also get a stamp set. This month's stamp set includes, it's all about Christmas, and it says Merry Christmas to the world, deck the halls, joy, and some little stars and snowflakes. That's what's in the stamp set for this month. We'll get a pecan pie ink cube, and I should have cut that apart, so let me go ahead and do that now. Are any of you Paper Pumpkin subscribers? If you are, have you done your kit yet? Okay, that's done. And then in the kit, you also have a roll of double-sided tape. Guys, I love double-sided tape. Next to, this is my preferences for adhesive. I start with liquid adhesive. The next thing I use is my double-sided tape. And then I use a tape runner. That's my order of preference for adhesives. And then in the kit, you'll get a packet of dimensionals, regular size, some glue dots, and here are our embellishments for the kits. You'll also get the envelopes that you need to make the card. There's 9 envelopes, one for each of the cards that we're going to make. So we're just going to set the envelopes off to the side because we don't need them right now. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me walk you through, if this is your first time using watching the Paper Pumpkin kits, kit-togethers. What I love about the Stampin' Up kits is the instruction sheets. It tells you everything that you need besides the visual image. There's a QR code if you need help to assemble the kit. Tells you what comes in. The coordinating Stampin' Up colors for this kit are Basic Beige, Sherry Cobbler, Garden Green, Pecan Pie, and Real Red. It also lets you know that there is a coordinating die set that goes along with this. I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is. I didn't package it up yet. Oh, I need to put it in this kit. That's what I'll do. But one of the other things that it tells you, and it tells you what goes with each kit. So I've already gone ahead, and that's why I have the 3 kits, and everything that goes with card 1, card 2, and card 3, I've already put everything together. That way, it's just a matter of assembly and stamping. Now, with most of the Paper Pumpkin kits, there's a little bit of assembly that's required, or stamping. It's not a lot of stamping, but there's a couple of things that we might need to stamp, and then the rest of it is assembly. Now, the other thing that it tells you is where to put adhesive, how to stamp, and how to do everything, okay? So if you follow along in the kit, where's my little thingamabobber here? Okay, let's use this one then, since I can't find what I'm looking for. So on here, you can see that it tells you that first thing you'll need to do is stamp your sentiments. It tells you how and where to apply adhesives. This is the symbol for using the double-sided tape. And this is the clear white, what is it, octagon? How many sides is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hectagon tells you where to put the dimensionals, and then the black dots tell you where you should align and put your glue dots. So that's how you should read this chart if you have not done one before. Of course, with everything, you can always do your own thing. I find that sometimes when I don't follow the instructions the way they have them, I tend to because I'm a dimensional hog, and I put dimensionals where I should not put dimensionals, and then I can't put things where they need to go. So for Paper Pumpkin kits, I tend to pay attention. Now, you will get a Paper Pumpkin block in your first order, but that's the only order that you'll get a block in. After that, you do not get any more Paper Pumpkin blocks, but you will get blocks in the other kits that we do every month. All right, let's go ahead and clean this off. Excuse me. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, according to the instructions, is we're going to stamp our Merry Christmas, right? Because we're going to work on card number 1 first. And I'm just going to assembly line stamp and do everything that I need to do. That way assembly is a little bit quicker. Now, everybody I know tells you that the way to do the stamping is to kind of just let it fall. Don't place it, just let it drop. And then you pick it up um, with the block. And what I'm doing right now is I'm what's called conditioning the stamp. And then I'm going to grab a foam. Now, this foam sheet, I do have a foam mat, but I already had this one, and so I tend to use it because I have. Now, photopolymer stamp need that extra little cushion on the cling stamps. You have that extra foam that's there so because the photopolymer stamps don't, you generally tend to stamp it with a little bit of additional cushion adhered to it. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to bring this guy out so I can test. Even though I condition it, I almost always will do a first stamp on something so that I make sure that I'm getting good coverage on the stamp. Okay. The other way you can condition the stamp is to just add some Versamark to it. And when I stamp off, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm going to get good coverage. Okay. So now I'm going to bring out the 3 of our Merry Christmas, and there's 4 of them. Stampin' Up gives you 4 of them so that if you mess up one, you have one more chance to get it right. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're going to have this lined up the right way, right? So we can see this is not going to be correct. All right. So it's Merry Christmas. So it needs to be in this particular orientation. Right? And there is a front side and a back side of die cuts. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but the back side will always feel a little bit more rough, and the front side will be a little bit smoother. When the die cuts into it, it kind of pushes pieces of the cardstock to the back, so it's a little bit rougher on the back. So that's how you can tell the front and the back of your die cuts. So we know what orientation this needs to be, so we're just going to go ahead and put all of them that way, making sure we've got the front in the front and the back in the back. That way when we're ready to roll, we just grab and go. So now we're just going to go ahead and align and stamp our sentiments. And I use a tapping motion when I'm stamping or adding color. And then I usually have to put my head over. So if my head gets in the shot, I do apologize, but I do have to make sure that it's aligned properly. There we go. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make sure I have good ink transfer. Perfect. And then I'm going to do 4 of them that way. Okay. I'm going to stamp all 4 of them because I'm going to make another Christmas card, not necessarily with these items, but this is already going to be used and stamped. All right? Trying to keep that out of the way. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what I'm going to do with my last one, guys, I probably should do it with this one, but I'm not. I'm going to clean this off, and I think I want the other one. I'm not going to stamp the other one. I should, because I want to heat emboss it in gold. So I have one that's in gold. I always try to do at least one thing a little bit different to make the card mine, right? To make it more me, to personalize it. Don't forget to say hello when you pop on. I'd love to know who is watching, who I'm talking to, so I can join the conversation, you guys. All right. And then the last one, I am going to bring in my Versamark. Now, Versamark ink is like just a glue ink, right? It's colorless, pretty clear, and it's a tacky, gluey type of an ink. And I make sure I double it up, because once it's on there, you guys, unless you're using a stamp positioner, you really can't go back and stamp on this again. Here we go. Got it? Yep, and I can see that we have good coverage. Perfect. So now before this, I'll grab my second pair of hands there, because I need that second pair of hands. And I'm going to grab a scrap piece of cardstock or paper, whatever I've got laying around, and I don't seem to have much laying around, which is unusual for me. Fortunately, it's a slow drying ink, which makes it better. Oops, there we go. So I have a little bit of time so that I can add the embossing powder. Now the other thing you could do is, I'm just going to let this fall and pour this guy right over it. Now why did I do that? Again, because I just wanted a little bit different. I'm going to go in with a little brush. Now you can do this with any of the kits that you have. You can personalize it to your own style. Add things that you normally would add, just to make it more of yours, okay? So that's one thing that I'm doing in this instance to make this card more Caron. Now, embossing powder lasts forever, because you only need a little bit at a time. You only really need a little bit at a time. Let's put this guy out of the way. And then we're going to heat emboss our sentiment here. Make sure I got it really good. Now you want to make sure that when you're holding on to this, that you hold on to it with something, because the heat tool will get a little hot. Yes, and you don't want to burn your fingers to create this, to do the heat embossing. So I'm heating up the heat tool, and I'm heating from the back as well as from the front. And as the powder melts, you can see it begin to change consistency. And so what I do is I do what's called chasing the powder. And as you see that it's changed completely, you'll know that it's complete in the process. Okay? So here we got our heat embossed. Do you see that shine that you have on this? Okay. And then, so if you take a look at both of them together, you'll see the difference. Oops. This one is metallic-y, shimmery, and this one is muted. Okay? All right, so now that we've got the stamping in place, let's take our mat out of the way. Let's grab our kit for item card number 1, and we're going to go ahead and do step number 2. Step number 2 says we're going to add our tape. And we got 3 strips of tape that we're going to add, so let's go ahead and add those strips. Now the thing about tear and tape, because that's what this is called, it is, you do not need a pair of scissors, although you can use a pair of scissors. It is not necessary for you to use scissors to adhere the tear and tape, because you can tear it very easily. Okay, and it's 3 strips, 1, 2, 3. We'll go ahead and add all 3 strips on all 3 pieces of the card panel. Now if you didn't want to tear it that way, you can grab a block and just rip. Some folks like to have even corners or even edges when they are tearing, or they use tear and tape. So again, you can just do that. Last one. Well, we are in the last week of October, you guys, and I'm excited. I wish to welcome Rebecca to the Sweets Signatures Stampers group team. Rebecca took advantage of the opportunity that Stampin' Up! Is offering for this month only to join Stampin' Up! For the minimum for U.S. demonstrators is $35. And for $35, when you sign up in this month, you get to select $125 worth of products, which is amazing, you guys. Normally, our sign-up fee is $99, and you get $125 worth of products. So, I mean, your sign-up fee is less, and you're getting more. I mean, like, how amazing is that, right? All right, so we've got our adhesives on that. On our sentiment, it tells us, oops, come on. I'm going to leave the embossed one because I'm not sure what I want to do with that or how I'm going to use it. So I'm not going to add it. Come on. Adhesive. Oh my gosh, I can't pick it up. Uh-oh, I need another refill for my adhesive, my tacky. Need a refill there. All right, so if you look at the diagram, it tells you that there's a strip of tear and tape. Oops. There's a strip of tear and tape on this side and a dimensional on that side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of them. Okay. And it seems like it's more towards the middle, so that's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3. Oops. And the third one is down. And then our dimensionals. Our dimensional goes in the corner. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. Guys, I use things and then I put them down and I have no idea where I put them. That's so funny. It's not. It's funny, but it's not. My brain is like, ugh. I just had my tool. There it is. I stuck it somewhere and I'm like, where did I stick that thing? All right, so we're just going to grab a glue dot and it's in the corner. So I'm just going to plop it in that corner because that's what they have done. That's how they want it. That's 2. And that's 3. So those are done. The next thing we're going to do is our images, right? So on this one, it's going to be 4 dimensionals that we apply. 1, 2. Now, if you know anything about me, it hurts my soul to add so few dimensionals in here, right? You know that. Because I am the dimensional queen. I personally do not like when you get a card and you depress it. If it buckles in the middle, it's not. I'm not happy, especially if it's my work. It does not make me happy. All right, so we've got all 3 of those. Plus we need to add 2 glue dots. And there's one here and one here. That's done. And I am just using the point of the take your pick tool to release the glue dot from the acetate backing that it came on. Okay. Perfect. So that's that one. Then we've got 3 of these. And on this one, I'm not doing any alternatives. I might. We're not doing any alternatives with this kit. So there's 3 of those on here. 1, 2, and 3. I find that if you're doing cards assembly line, the best way is to do all of one step first and then do the next, right? That way you're sure you didn't miss anything. Okay, and then there's 3 glue dots on this one. So we're going to go ahead and apply 3 glue dots. 1, 2, and 3. That's 1. I normally just make 1 of each for you while we're live, but I'm just going to go ahead and make all 3 of these today. At the end of the day, I will have another 9 cards to add to my list or to my tally for Christmas cards for 2025. All right, so those are done, and then we've got a couple more to do. There's just one, there's 2 of those on here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. And then 2 glue dots, or 1 glue dot right in the center. 1, 1, and 1. Okay, so these are done. And then the last thing we have to add glue dots to, or a dimensional to, is our little star elements. All right. 1. You got to be careful with these. 2 and 3. Guys, now we can begin assembling our cards. All right. So we're going to grab these guys, and I build most everything before I adhere it to the card base, okay? So here's what it tells us to do. Is we've got this, right? And then we've got this. And you see how everything is meant to be put together to build our tree, okay? So I'm not going to remove the backing from, so I'm going to remove these two and get them situated in here, right? And I want to put my hands on these two, the ones that I don't have adhesive, so that I can make sure of alignment, right? So we got that. Okay, so we've got that inlaid. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and do these two. So we build our tree like so. So we've got one tree that's built. And we're going to go ahead and do that for all of the trees so that we've got our trees built. Line them up. And these are, like I showed you before, they're built, aligned, so that each layer fits right into the next. Okay. That's two. And then the last one. Anybody a Paper Pumpkin subscriber out there? Do you have your kit? Have you done this one? Perfect. I know I want to go ahead and do them. I just get so busy between designing cards for swaps, designing cards for tutorials, that sometimes I just don't have the amount of time to create um, to do my Paper Pumpkin kits, right? Okay. So then the next thing it has us doing is taking these off. So let's go ahead and take off the remaining adhesives, okay? Tomorrow we're going to do roll of the die. I might go ahead and roll the die today. No, I'll do that in a separate video so you guys can see. I've decided that I'm going to roll the die the night before. That way, if you guys wanted to join me, you can create your own. But if you wanted to take that opportunity and see ahead of time, you're welcome to do that as well. So we're going to go ahead and post this down here. right, just like that. Then we're going to grab one of our stars. I'm missing a star somewhere. I am. And we're going to go ahead and just pop our star right at the top. And that's crooked because that's me. I told you guys before, if you don't know anything else about me, know that any card that you receive from myself is generally going to be, it might be a little cattywampus, and that's because my perception, my visual perception is off a little bit. I just don't see things straight. Even with a ruler, I can't get them straight. So it's not purposefully that I'm misaligning things. It's just that when I see them, my depth is off a little bit. So I just don't see it that way. So I try as much as possible to use like grid paper and things like that to line things up or to help with that. But I know and you know that it's going to be a little off. All right, so the next thing that needs to happen is our Merry Christmas. We'll go along here. And they have it more towards like so. Yeah, like that. So we're going to take our double-sided tape off and our adhesive backing. And then we're just going to try to line this right up. Okay? Knowing that it's right off on the second, and try to make sure we get it as aligned as we can, like so, without covering our sentiments. Okay? Grab some of these, put those aside, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our sequins. All right, so it's one large and two small. That's what it says. One goes here. One goes here. And then one will go down here. Okay, and our first card is done. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do the next three, or the other two, and we'll be finished with these cards. Card number one. Once you do the first one, it should go pretty quick after that. Again, using the grid paper to align. Right? Go ahead and put that in place. Right? Take our backing off of our star. And align our star right to the top of our tree. Perfect. You can also do your sentiment. Again, it's in the second area, like that. And I only press down on the double-sided tape area, not on the dimensional, which is why it didn't stick to my paper. And here we go with this one. So once this is aligned here, we'll go ahead and give it a little bit more pressure. And there we go. Then we're going to add our sequins again. One up here. And then one more down here. Okay. And our last one, there it is. I was like, where's this thing at? Oh, I didn't do that. I forgot about that part. That's all right. I didn't take that layer of the glue dot backing off. I almost didn't do it again this time either. What are y'all having for lunch today? I haven't even had breakfast yet. Nope, I decided I was going to go live, and I went around doing everything to prepare to go live today, so I did not have breakfast this morning. So I'm a little hungry, so I'm going to take a little break today before I come back to y'all. It's there. Last is the star. Which we're going to adhere, like right there. Boom. All right. And you'll find that when you assemble, you'll find something or a manner in which works best for you. Some people work best just assembling over the card itself. I find that I make sure my focal image is complete before I even attempt to put it on the card base. And I do that because if I make a mistake at any level, I only make a mistake on a portion. I don't have to get rid of the entire card. So that's what works for me. There we go. All right, so our card number 1 is just about done. Then I'm going to clean up a little bit before I get started on card number 2. All right. Here's cut that one. And then we're going to add our embellishments. One. I feel like eating Chipotle today. I don't know. All right. So our 3 cards for number 1 are complete. Okay. All right. Let's put them in their envelope. And then 1, 2, and 3. All right, so then here's our card number 1. All right, so the next thing, let's go ahead and clear this up because it is a little bit messy here. Because I am a messy stamper. I don't know about you. Are you guys messy stampers? I am. Put all of those out of the way. And then let's get some of these backings off of the table. Yep. I tell you, shooting videos helps keep me on track, right? Because I normally just work. But so I tend to work from a space that looks like this. And then by the time I'm done creating, I'm working on a space that looks like that. Is that what you guys do as well? All right, card number 2. I think we might leave let's go with card number 2 and see what we got, okay? Card number 2 is our joy card. That's this one. This one's a little bit more intense, y'all. It is. So I'm going to grab our joys out. Get rid of the little centerpiece. And there's 4 of these. So again, I'm going to use these elements with the 4th element to create another card somehow. Okay. So let's go ahead and get the stamping done on these elements. To the world is what we're going to stamp. And again, we do need to condition this stamp just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that off the first time. Ugh. Perfect. And then we're going to get this aligned here. We're going to, and again, I'm using that grid line to help me line things up. I would be completely cattywampus if I did not do that. Took me a while to figure out what that word meant, cattywampus, if I'm saying it right. All right, so this is towards the bottom. So I am going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 1. Align, put this on the grid line, lined up. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 2. Last one. I am going to do the 4th one, but I'm also going to do that in with heat embossing. So I'm not going to do that one today because that just added a little bit more time to our video. But you saw how I did it with the first one. Just going to do the same thing with the second one. You stamp it in Versamark and then heat emboss it with gold embossing powder. Okay? All right, so the next thing we're going to do, let's put this one to the side since we're not going to use it right now, is, what does it tell us to do? On the J, O, and Y, so let's bring all of those out. I'm going to add adhesive. And it wants just double-sided tape on this, so that's what we're going to do. I'm missing one somewhere, one of the Y's. Okay, let's grab our tape and add some adhesive. One and two. Now you can, I did it in two pieces because that's what they did, but you can kind of maneuver the tape so that you can do it in one, which I'm not going to do. Which I'm not going to do. Right? All right. Got our Y done. We need to get our J, our O done, and there's just a strip right here. And a strip right here. Now, if you happen to go over, you can always fix that. So there's nothing that you need to stress about here, okay? So again, if you are interested in becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love, and you are in the United States, I believe you can do it anywhere now. I would love to have you on my team. And don't forget the promotion, this amazing offer ends October 31st, where you can join Stampin' Up! For $35 and select $135 worth of products. You also have the opportunity to join for $89 and get $199 worth of, did I say that right? Join for $89 and get $199 worth of products. Is that right? I have the correct information in my slide. I'm going to show it to you, okay? But I think it's $189 you get. But I'm going to tell you the exact thing so that I'm not lying to you and telling you something that's not right. Okay, so we've got all of the letters done. And then it tells us that on our joy, where we need to add dimensionals, right? So let's find our dimensionals and get those put on. Okay. My pick tool seems to have disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay. So according to this, we need one here. We need one here. We need one here. And I have one all around the O. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to have one up here. And then one up here. Boom. Okay. 1, So one there, one there, one there, one there, one, two, and three. I'm missing something because I think it said we needed some glue dots, right? So we got to add a couple of glue dots. I'll go back and I'll do those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then there's 2 glue dots on this. Oops. All right. There's a glue dot here, and there's a glue dot here. That's 1. There's a glue dot here, and a glue dot there. There's a glue dot here, and one here. All right. Lastly, we've got 6 of these guys that we need to add dimensionals on. 2, 4, and 6, and we got just 6. Okay, and it's 1. So if they have it this way, they want us to put 1 here and 1 here. And it's going to be 2 of these per card. I mean, how else can you do 9 cards in an hour, right? Or a little bit more than an hour, right? How else can you do that? So last night we had Kit Together in the craft room. And what Kit Together is it's just an opportunity that I share with my viewers, my customers, my team, that we get together and we just craft. Doesn't have to be card making. Whatever your craft is what you come in and you do. And it's just an opportunity for us to get social with each other. Not, you know, of course I do my initial, hey, this is what's happening at Stampin' Up, but for the most part, we don't do, I don't do any selling. It's all about creating. Now's your chance to get in on that. Right? All right, so the first thing we're going to get together and get these adhered down. Okay? And I'm just burnishing the adhesive into the cardstock so that it sits properly. All right, let's grab our first J. Now, it might be easier to do this with our third hand, and I don't know, I call these reversible tweezers my third hand, right? Because I find that when I use them, I have a little bit more control. That's the J. Now, if you take a look at the O is situated a little differently, right? So here we have, I took that off. Okay. So you got to make sure it's lined because it's slanted a little bit. So So just make sure that it's lined up. And again, perfection is not the name of this game. Okay? I mean, it can be if you want it to be. I think I'm gonna make a set of cards. I'm doing I'm the chairperson for my department's combined charity campaign this year, or the co-chair. And I think I'm gonna make a set of cards. We're doing a silent auction. I'm gonna make a set of cards, I think. There you go. And that's how we're gonna lay these down. Okay? Unfortunately, they did not. Stampin' Up! Does not give us a fourth set of letters, um, so that we could do the fourth one. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how to color these. And I don't color very well. I mean, I color well, but so if your adhesive, let me skip that part. So if your adhesive happened to have gone over your outline, just take your finger and kind of put it back into place, okay? That's how you can get around if you happen to have extended your adhesive past where it needed to be. Now again, we are creating with the, I can't see it that way. We're creating with the October 2025 paper pumpkin, and this is called Cozy Christmas. We are Stampin' Up! We are coming out with new products, new online exclusives that start next month. And as a demonstrator, of course, we're able to pre-order. So I've been pre-ordering, and so I will probably play with one of my new sets this afternoon or later on today. Oops, I see it. There we go. Put that tape adhesive back. That part looks a little more oval to me. All right. And then last is our Y. So again, I am doing these assembly line. I generally have not done the 3 cards for you on one of my videos, but the holiday season is coming up, and generally if I don't do all 3 of them at one time, that one will probably be the only one that gets done. I know. Because I put it down and then it's time to get on to something else. Now, for me, I'm finding that I have to adjust the main image so that I can make sure that I'm aligning it properly and correctly. Oops. There we go. That's number 2. I'm not sure why we did not put adhesive up there, but I'm probably going to. We'll see. And then the last one. J. Okay. Oh, there's my Y. I'm not quite sure where my O is, though. Where's the O? Where did the O go? Okay. My O is somewhere around. Probably hiding under something. And we'll go ahead and put what we have up, and then we'll find that O. Again, guys, a pair of reversible tweezers is, it is definitely a must in a stamper's toolkit. Okay. I use it religiously when I'm doing bows because I find that I need that third hand. There it is. Oh yeah, I need that third hand when I'm doing a bow. Absolutely, I need that. So what are some of, go ahead and list in the comments for me, what are some of your must-haves in your craft, your card making toolkit? I have a recommended toolkit that's posted in my online store and on my blog. But what do you think are your must-haves? So I can tell you for me, I'll tell you what I have in there. You have adhesives in all forms, double-sided tape, a tape runner, liquid adhesive, glue dots, dimensionals in all forms, sheet form, dots, um, roll, whichever, in all forms, dimensionals, foam tape. My Wink Stella pen is a must for me. Um, I have to have a take your pick tool, something like this, and I have more than one. My bone folder, reversible tweezers, paper snips. All right, so after all of that is done, we're going to need to now, I think, all right, let's see. Okay, so where we have these glue dots is where we're going to put our little accent pieces, right? Making sure I have them in the right direction or right orientation, right? So at the top we have this, and it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing it that way. So at the top we'll have the one going that way. And then at the bottom, the other one going in the other direction. Okay, so let's go ahead and add those. So again, with the joy that way, I'm going to put this, and we're just going to align it to make sure we're kind of even, like that. There we go. And then the same thing for the bottom. Oops. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to do that to the others, and then we'll be finished with that part of the assembly, and then we'll go ahead and put our card together. I've already got the template down, so I just want to make sure that I use it. Right. And then you can just use these lines to assist with alignment. Okay, that's 2. And then the last. All right. We are almost done with card number 2 from our Cozy Christmas card kit. Is that right? Yeah. All right. So all of these are done and ready to go on the card front. So now let's grab our card fronts. There's 3 of them. And we're going to go ahead and just align them, okay? Now the thing that we're going to use to make sure that this is aligned is that we make sure that the image does not go off of the focal image, okay? All right, so using my grid lines for assistance, I'm going to go ahead and align this like so. And before I press anything down, I'm going to look at it level. Okay, that seems pretty straight to me. Then I'm going to press it in, and that part's complete. Now, not in the instructions is I'm going to grab my liquid glue here because I don't want these guys to be popped up. So I'm just going to add a little dab of glue. You can use your glue dots. And I'm just going to adhere those down. Okay. Again, that's just my preference. You don't have to do that. Okay. So number 1 is done. I'm going to do the same for the other 2. Now you can also, before we stick it down, because I know I like it that way, so I'm going to do my little bit of glue dot, put that down, put a little bit of glue dot, put that down. Anywhere that you see that you would like to do that, this would probably be a good opportunity to do it. Okay? Let's get our backings off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to turn this a little bit. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. All right. Again, using my grid lines, I'm going to line this up as best as I can, like that. Okay, that's number 2. Last is our 3rd. Oh, I didn't realize I put them all on top of that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Again, nice. I should have done my glue, but I can do it after. So that's not an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down, like making sure it's even. All right. Adhesive. Adhesive. And a little glue dot. Okay. All right, so our card fronts are done. Now we just need to, well, except for our embellishments. Now we just need to go on in there with our card bases and finish those. Gonna burnish a little bit. Now burnishing my folds just simply means I'm making that folded edge as crisp and as sharp as I can possibly get it. Okay, that's what burnishing your fold means. All right. Oh, we were supposed to put 3 on here. That's okay. I did not do that with the the double-sided tape. Well, let's go ahead and do it now. I'm showing you that you can do with our paper pumpkin kit. You don't need to add anything else to the kit, okay? It comes with everything you need to create the cards. So, if you want to get into a craft, but you don't want to get into everything like I do in terms of, buying as many stamp sets and so on and so forth, then maybe the kit is the way for you to go. And we have Stampin' Up! Tends to release 3 kits every month. I think it's 2 or 3 kits every month. Plus, you can sign up for Paper Pumpkin that you get every month. And then you'll have everything that you'll need. So minimally, you'll be able to make 9 cards each month. Yes. Minimally. Because there's 9 cards, generally 9 cards in the Paper Pumpkin kit. And then in our other kits, there's usually 8 or 9 cards as well. Okay. So I'm going to burnish the adhesive into the cardstock, just like I did before with the burnishing the edges. And then that just makes the adhesive stick better to the cardstock. Remove any of the air bubbles that might be in there. Okay. All right. Now with everything else, we got to make sure that we're opening our card in the right orientation. So sorry for the late notice today that I was going live. Yeah. Kind of just occurred to me. Again, using my grid lines. And I know I need this to be about 3/8 of an inch on both sides. That seems about right. Okay. That's one. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add my adhesive. Don't forget, I'll be going live tomorrow for Roll of the Die, right here on our YouTube channel. What is Roll of the Die, you might ask? Roll of the Die is where I roll the dice, a set of dice that I have that have things such as color, a fancy fold, a technique, and there's a set of 5 dies, and I have to create a card or a project based upon those 5 dies. I never have a project in mind. I don't make a sample. I just create from what it tells me to create, because you never know. Sometimes I'll have sometimes I'll have a stamp set in mind. So I go into it with that. A stamp set, a designer series paper, something. And then, for example, if I got new product in the mail or what have you, and then I'll say, okay, well, I gotta use I gotta use all of my start using my new products, right? So I will go ahead then and okay, so there's a big one here somewhere, and then we've got, sorry. So what I'm trying to decide is if I should do it. You tell me. Should I roll the die at the end of, like, tomorrow when I go live? Should I roll the dice at the end of the video tomorrow? Or should I roll the dice at the beginning? Like give time to think about what to create. All right, so there's one. I'm debating. I'm kind of thinking I want to give you guys the opportunity to get your supplies together and create with me. So maybe I should do it the night before. Oh, maybe that's better. I just roll the night before. So I'll roll the night. Oh, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll roll the night before, and I'll roll it in my Facebook group. That way, you'll see the clues or the information there as to what we're working with to create the next day. I think that's what I'll do. I think that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. All right, card number 2 is just about done. All we need to do is finish up with our embellishments, and we will be done with card number 2. You guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed creating with these cards, the Cozy Christmas Card Kit. Please like and share this video with your friends and family. I would love to be able to share and expand my crafting community. If you do share, just come back and say hashtag shared, hashtag subscribed, and I will, next week when I come with my next kit, I will announce the winner of the drawing, and you will receive a pack of 6x6 designer series papers as if you win that drawing. You do not need to be present to win. You do, however, need to comment that you've shared the video or you've subscribed to the channel. for entry into. And then you will have until the next video or a couple of days to claim your prize. By that, I mean definitely reach out to me with an address so I know exactly where I'm sending your prize. All right, so we're done with card number 2. Give me a second. We'll clean up and we'll get ready for card number 3. All right. Nope, I do need to still clean this up. Let's get this off of there. All right. You can't imagine the places you'll end up finding these little backs. They'll be everywhere, in every single nook and cranny. Oh my goodness. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started on card number 3. This one looks to be a little bit of a fun one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our Deck the Halls. Sorry, my back's starting to hurt. Got 4 sentiment label strips, but we'll go ahead and we'll stamp. We won't stamp on the 4th. Alrighty. And we're just going to lay this down on here, try to make sure it's even. Pick it up with our block and condition our stamp. Guys, as even though I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I would love for you to shop in my store, if you've already got some of these supplies, I would not tell you or encourage you to throw them away just to shop in my online store. Use what you have. I've been crafting a little bit before some of the items from Stampin' Up came out, so I don't throw them out. I use them. All right, so Deck the Hall, we've conditioned our stamps. And even though we have conditioned it, we're going to go definitely stamp it off on our piece of cardstock over there. And it's not necessarily cardstock, but our little chipboard over here. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp our Deck the Halls. Now I'm not stamping the 4th piece because I'm going to heat emboss that one as well. Again, using the grid lines that's on here, I'm going to line that up. And I'm going to stamp. If you'd like more information on becoming a Stampin' Up demonstrator, or how to shop my information, or how to find my store, please check the description box. I have all of the information on how you can reach me, but it's also going to be scrolling across the top of your screen. My email address for you to reach out to me. Let me know that you're interested in becoming a Stampin' Up demonstrator, you're wanting to order, whatever it is you want to do. Or if you just have a question on a process, I will be more than happy to answer those questions. Okay, there's our second. Five. And one more. So again, when you do stamp assembly line, it's best to do all of one process. It might take a little bit longer, but it's better to stamp it in assembly line manner. That way, if you know you're needing 10 of these sentiment strips. Well, if you just stamps 10 of them out at once, you'll know you have your 10, right? And then you're not always reaching for something, putting it away, reaching for something, putting it away. That phase of the process will be complete. You grab a little bit of water on my mat. Then I'll just wipe that off. Okay. Now I don't need my stamping block anymore. I can put that away. One more thing I can remove from my workstation. All right. Then I can put our stamp away because I won't need this anymore. And then we can move on to our next step. All right, so then the next thing it tells us that we need to do is we need to add our double-sided tape to the back of our focal panels. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure they're on the back. And again, this is tear and tape, so you can tear it with your hands. If you prefer not to do that, you can just grab something with a straight edge, like so. So you see I've done it with several different tools, right? That's one. It's early voting here in the state. I'm excited. I have this week that I am needing to go make sure that I'm read into the items that's being voted on to make sure I have a good knowledge of what's happening and so I don't waste my vote. I like to do informed voting, you know, making sure I understand what the issue is and how the bill or, you know, whatever the item is supposed to impact that issue, whether positive or negative, and, you know, try to get a good understanding of what might be the potential negative or the potential positive of that bill being voted into action or not being voted into law. I think there's a couple of items that's going to impact the Texas Constitution, so I'm definitely going to pay attention to that. All right, so we've got that done. All right, so then the next thing we want to add adhesive to, let's grab the rest of this stuff out. And it says we want adhesive in the back here. So we're going to go ahead and add adhesive to the back of all of these. I might add more adhesive. Guys, again, I'm a funny card maker in terms of, you know, I don't like, if I'm going to take the time to create a card for you, I don't want when it goes through the mail, you know, it gets destroyed. So if that means I've got to put a whole bunch of adhesives on it, then that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Okay, is that the right way? I like to make sure they're all the same direction. Not that it matters, but I like to make sure that when I'm doing it, everything is in the same orientation. So Let's grab our take your pick tool again. And they have 5 dimensionals. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's how I'm doing my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1. Now again, there's only 3 of each of these that came in your kit. So just be very careful about that. Then we need so if we turn this over, we want a dimensional here, a dimensional there, and one here. And then we need 2 here. We've used almost all of our dimensionals. That's interesting. I don't know why that's like that. I'm gonna do that. Sorry. I don't like that. So again, I'm gonna do what they said, but then I'm gonna go do my own thing just because. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we've got 2 of those. Then we need our glue dots, which is where? Oh, there they are. So we need to put glue dots on each of those. All right. I've never done a kit where I've used all of my glue dots, ever. I always have a whole bunch left. But then again, sometimes I just change out the glue dots and use liquid adhesive. Liquid adhesive just gives me more time to maneuver, and it's time that I need because of how I craft, because of my alignment issues. All right, so we've got everything done, adhered where it tells us that we need to adhere. So now we can go ahead and assemble some things, okay? So the first thing we're needing to do, and if we look at the orientation that it has, right? So it has the little snowflakes at the top and then the this piece at the bottom. So that's the orientation that we want for all of this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add this guy over here. Am I missing something? All right, so let's remove. Oh, that's what it is. Whew, I was like, what's missing? Something looks missing. It's on the other sprig piece. That's where it is. And that's why you follow instructions. Because if I had put the a glue dot where it was, I would not have been able to do what it needed me to do to finish the piece. So sometimes you either got to look at it in its entirety or finished form, before you make those types of decisions, right? All right, so now I'm just going to line this up, and I'm going to start from one side to the other, right? So I'm going to, because if you line it up right on one side, it will line up right on the other, right? All right, and we're off. Okay, we're off, and this is why I don't press anything down until it's time, until everything has been aligned, right? So right off the bat, we can see that this part needs to be aligned properly. So I'm going to make sure that our bottom is aligned. Right? And then we're going to work our way around, making sure. No, that's not lining up right. Okay? And sometimes there is a right way and a wrong way. So let's do this. Let's turn it this way and see if that works better. Right? This is what I mean about my alignment issues, right? There we go. There we go. And again, it might take you a little while, but take as much time as you need. There is no rush on alignments. Again, this is the October 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you are a subscriber to Paper Pumpkin, you should be able to go into and order a refill, or to be able to order the kit, I believe. It is no longer available unless you are a subscriber to Paper Pumpkin. Okay. All right. Do the same thing. Now, hopefully this time it will not take me as long. Get that point, and then work my way around like so. Make sure this part is aligned. Oh, we're off here. I don't know how I got to be aligned on the first part, not on the bottom, but it's telling me I'm not, so we're going to adjust. Right, like that, and then get everything laid down. I don't know why I'm off. I do not know why I'm off. Okay, see how much I'm off here? All right. There is a way to remove adhesive. All right, and now that we got this going back online, we are going to there we go. There we go. And walk it down and walk it down. Perfect. I'm going to go back in with adhesive and make sure that that's laid down properly, guys. And then last one. see if we can get this one on the first try, right? All right. So I'm going to put this here. Make sure that point's lined up. Make sure this point's lined up. And then there we go. Trial and error, and then you get the right answer, right? Look at how we got the right answer the first time, right? But I'm going to go in with a little bit of adhesive because, again, I don't like those to be so loose. So I'm going to go ahead with just a little dot of adhesive and lay that down. Now the thing about our glue is that it does dry clear. Okay. Do the same thing with these. Or you can just put them on what's lifted like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. And last. This just had so much open for me. I did not care for that at all. Right? You don't have to glue everything down. Just enough. Again, I don't want it to catch on anything in the mailing process. So that's why I will generally add additional adhesive on things. Okay, so we've got that part done. Let's see what the next thing is that it tells us to do. So next it tells us to go ahead and stick, which one's at the top? This is at the top. Aha. So we're going to put this guy on here like so. Okay. Let's see where this second one is. I'm looking to see where that adhesive aligns so that I know if I need to put it on the card before. Yeah, I'll need to put it on the card. I can do it without, I think. All right, so I'm going to put this on. Where did they go? These guys. I'm going to put this one on our card base or card front first, and then I'm going to align. Okay, so in the image that we have, this is, so we need to start this at about a 1/4 inch from the bottom for this all to fit, okay? And then off to the right. Quarter inch from the bottom and then off to the right. So now I'm using my grid mat, my grid paper, and then I'm going to find my 1/4 inch from the bottom, find that center point, and then I'm going to go off to my right, about here. So using, so I'm starting at the 5 3/4 mark, I'm going to start aligning at the 1/4 inch from the bottom at the 8.5. That's too much. So let's do the 8.25. That looks a little too much. Let's do it on the 8. There looks to be a little bit of an overhang from on the picture, which is why I'm trying to be as precise as I can. Oh, there's a glue dot. No, there's no glue dot on that one. And then this guy is going to go on the line, that 8-inch line, and it's going to do that. Okay. That's just how you use your grid lines to help you align things, okay? So again, oh, I'm missing something, I say. So we started on our 5 3/4 line. And then we're going to line this up at the 1/4 inch from the bottom on the 8-inch side. Boom. Okay. That is the blessing of the grid paper. Once you know where you start something with the alignment, then you can continue to do it all the time. All right, so again, this is going to be on the 8-inch line, or that solid line, which happens to correspond with the 8-inch. And then we're going to give that a good press. 5 3/4. Who says it had to be that technical, right? Nobody. 5 3/4, 8-inch line, 1/4 inch from the bottom, and it should get you generally in the same vicinity. Boom. And then, awesome. Line it up again, making sure that that brown arrow is right on the 8-inch line, or as close as you can get it, and then give it a good little press. Okay. All right, so we're done with that part, and then before I do anything else, I'm going to put everything else on the card base. All right. And just like that, guys, we have got 9 additional Christmas cards to our growing stash of Christmas cards for Christmas 2025. Now our card's going to open that way. Oops, did you guys hear that thunder? Yeah, thunderstorms in the offings this weekend. So I think I heard some of my neighbors say that it even sounded like hail. So, you know, if you're in the area watching, make sure your vehicles are protected. I'm just gonna put adhesive here. Again, if you're anything like me, the thought of, again, I'm going to align this, and this is 3 3/4 by 5, so I'm going to go about 1/4 inch down and 1/4 inch up, and that's where I'm going to put that. Okay, that's one. Oops, I can see that I have it wrong. I have to make sure the opening is where it needs to be, right? Make sure that I have adhesive at least on the corners. I got to refill my glue bottle. Oh man, I didn't take off my adhesive, but that's okay, even if I don't, because I just now added the glue. But I'm going to take that off real quick. All right. Alrighty. So again, 1/4 inch from the bottom. That's where I'm going to start, and then 1/4 inch in. Oops. You guys hearing that? Oh my gosh, we have had no rain here for the longest time. So it is definitely needed, the rain. That is for sure. So I'm really, really excited about that. All right. Lining it up. Gonna find my Q, 1/4 inch from the bottom, 1/4 inch in, and there we go. Okay. All right, next thing and last thing we got to do is add our sentiment and our, oh good, I did it right. Ah, I did it right. Is add our sentiment. Now it looks to me like they use the center point as a guide here, so that's what I'm going to do. And there we go. Just like that. Using guides helped me a lot. Oh my gosh, if I did not use guides, you guys would be getting cards that were either all going uphill or all going downhill. That's true statement of fact right there, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this grid line right here to line my sentiment up. And yeah. Make sure it's aligned, and there we go. I think that one's a little off, but hey, it wouldn't be a Caron card if there wasn't at least something that wasn't going either up or downhill. And guys, we have created 9 cards today. Thank you for watching. Again, don't forget to like, share, or subscribe. And join me next week. I am going to work on busting my stash. Operation Bust My Stash continues. There we go. And then lastly is we've got to put some dimensional, or what are those things called? gems. 1, 2. I don't know how it's saying to do that because all of those are done. So I'm just using what I got. One, one, and last. Perfect. All right, guys, we have done. Let me clean this up so I can bring everybody back in so you can see them, okay? This was the October paper pumpkin kit called Cozy Christmas. Again, it is only available to Paper Pumpkin subscribers. If you happen to see it in the online store and you try to add it to your cart, if you are not a subscriber, it will not allow you to check out. You have to subscribe. I would be more than happy to serve as your demonstrator if you would like to subscribe. I'll clean this up. But these kits are fun. They're fast. I'd probably do them a little bit faster if I was not recording. I don't know why, what accounts for that difference, but it does. And I think we got these pretty darn close. Okay, so here's one. Here's our card number 3. Here's our card number 2. Let me put that out of the way. And here is our first card. I hope you enjoy them. And I thank you for joining me today as we created with the October 2025 paper pumpkin kit called Comfy Christmas. Cozy Christmas. All right, guys, I am going to go take a quick break, grab something to eat, and figure out what I'm going to make for you next. On that note, you guys have a great day and happy stamping.